It can be a difficult conversation to have, but do your family members know about your medical care wishes? In today's To Your Wellbeing, we're talking about advanced care planning and what you can do now to make things easier on your family.
We have Dr. Jean Freeman of Cone Health here with us. First off, what is advanced healthcare planning?
Advanced care planning is the process by which one thinks about the things that are most important to them, their values, considers how this would impact what type of medical care they may or may not want to receive in the future, and communicates that to both their family members as well as medical providers caring for them. Once that's done, that can be put into legal documents known as advanced directives that really outline those wishes. Common things that might be considered would be, who ought to make decisions for me if I can't make them for myself? Or in the event I can't make my own medical decisions, what are my care wishes moving forward?
Really sets everything out in stone, right? Let's get you involved in the conversation. Does your family know your medical care wishes? You can weigh in right now on WFMY.com/vote now and also on our free app. Dr. Freeman, how do you even start this conversation with your family members? Because it can be very
difficult.
And depressing.
It can certainly be difficult. And so to me, I think that if we start looking at not as a task to be done, but a process of conversations. So whenever I look at it in that way, I think there are a lot of opportunities to present themselves. For example, anytime that somebody is admitted to a Cone Health facility, there will be a question whenever they come into the hospital. In the event that we reach the end of their life, what should that look like for you? I think there's also the opportunity when we talk about other people's healthcare problems, friends, family, people at church that we know. And if they're sick, I think that's a natural conversation. Traditionally, our culture has been one where we avoid the topic of illness and death, but fortunately I think that's changing, largely through segments such as this. And so I think that if we take the opportunity to hear the stories that people are telling us, that gives us the opportunity to continue the conversation. My hope is that tomorrow somebody says, hey, did you see News 2 last night? What did you think about that? What are your thoughts on that situation?
A second ago you mentioned that they need some documents. Can they just write those themselves? Do they need an attorney? How do you do all that?
It actually depends upon the situation. I always recommend starting with a trusted health provider, your primary care provider, to help guide you based upon what your wishes are and also your current medical situation. From that point, some documents, such as one called the medical orders for scope of treatment, can be completed with your physician. Some other documents do require more assistance. For example, if somebody is admitted to the Cone Health system, they can complete things such as an advanced directive or also a living will with the assistance of our chaplain services. Outside of the hospital, it does require having a notary as well as witnesses. Oftentimes, people will utilize their attorney for that. It's not necessary. In either way, I think that starting the conversation with your healthcare provider is the first step.
When you get those documents together, what do you do with those documents?
Keep them someplace readily accessible. For somebody that has a healthcare power of attorney, I recommend that they get a copy and they also know where the original copy is kept in your home. Additionally, I think a copy to your primary care provider, your attorney if you have one, as well as whatever health system you seek care in regularly. One of the things I'm excited most about at Cone Health coming up is working to make sure those documents are available across any care spectrum, more in an electronic format as technology changes, so does care plans in general.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us. A lot of really interesting information, Dr. Freeman. Now let's get to